Welcome to another episode of On The Go Movie Reviews, where we talk about movies we've just seen in the cinema on our drive home. Today, and this is a bit of a late one, we've actually just seen Toy Story 4. So we'll be talking about that, and I assume you've seen it, but if you haven't, here's the trailer.
Everyone, Bonnie made a friend in class.
Oh, she's already making friends.
No, she literally made a new friend. I want you to meet Forky.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Ah! He's a spork.
Yes, yeah, I know. Forky is the most important toy to Bonnie right now. We all have to make sure nothing happens to him.
Woody, we have a situation.
I am not a toy. I was made for soup, salad, maybe chili, and then the trash.
Buzz, we've got to get Forky.
Affirmative.
Why am I alive? You're Bonnie's toy. You are going to help create happy memories that will last for the rest of her life.
Huh? What?
Oh, yeah. Bo? Forky, come on. Bo?
Hi there. My name is Gabby.
We can't stay.
Yes, you can. Boys. Woody, behind you!
Bo! What are you doing here?
No time to explain. Come with me.
We need to get back to our kid.
Aw, Sheriff Woody, always coming to the rescue.
Bonnie needs Forky.
Woody, who needs a kid's room when you can have all of this?
Wow.
Woody, aren't we going to Bonnie? We have to find them.
What do we do, Buzz?
What would Woody do?
Jump out of a moving vehicle?
Let's go!
Hey, you gotta go.
If you should ever leave me.
You know, you've handled this lost toy life better than I could.
Open your eyes, Woody. There's plenty of kids out there. Sometimes change can be good.
You can't teach this old toy new tricks.
You'd be surprised.
Bonnie? We're going home, Forky.
God only knows.
Bonnie, I'm coming.
On my way, Woody! To infinity and beyond!
Don't let Woody leave. Kids lose their toys every day.
I was made to help a child. I don't remember it being this hard.
Woody, somebody's whispering in your ear. Everything's gonna be okay.
God only knows what I'd be without.
So Amy, what did you think of Toy Story 4?
I'm not sure.
What does that mean?
I thought it was fine.
You want my opinion?
Yeah, go on.
I actually really enjoyed it.
Really?
Yeah, I'm really glad that we saw it. Because I was kind of hesitant, because I was kind of like, oh, do we really need another Toy Story? And then when we were watching it, I was like, I'm having so much fun.
See, maybe it's going to be a bit of a controversial opinion, but I don't think we needed that Toy Story, and I didn't. I mean, it was okay whilst we were watching it. I was like, yeah, okay. I'm not really that invested, but alright, we'll see how this goes. It was repetitive, and I was a bit like, a couple of times. So yeah, I guess all in all, it was fine.
I thought it was a really nice conclusion to Woody's little story arc. The idea that he's finally got to a point where he has grown beyond needing a kid anymore, and he can just kind of live his own life.
Yeah, from that respect, yeah, it makes sense. And it's nice to actually find out what happened to Bo, because obviously she just disappeared from the movies at one point. Although I'm pretty sure it was before Jessie arrived, but I'm not going to go into the finesse.
No, she just she's in Toy Story 2, but not in Toy Story 3.
I don't really remember, to be honest.
I actually quite liked Bo as a character as well. I thought she was this really cool, like, adventurer toy with her own little gang of lost toys, and like they repair each other and all that kind of stuff. I thought that was very cool.
Yeah, I liked the I liked the characters. I thought the characters were still good. The character development was good, but the story I thought was just a bit meh. And like they end up repeating themselves. Like, so spoilers. They go into the antique store to find to find Bo, and they leave without Forky. And well, Woody leaves without anyone. They go back to find Forky, They end up leaving without Forky. They go back to find Forky. It's just, oh god, come on. It's just very repetitive.
But one thing which bugged me, which I did clock onto quite early on, is it'll be a case of the characters will need to get somewhere in a certain amount of time, but then one of them will stop for whatever reason, either because Forky's like suicidal, or because they just leave the antique store without Forky, and they're like, we should probably go back and get him.
Yeah, I felt that Forky was literally just a plot device. I thought his character was irritating. I didn't really like him as a, like especially at the beginning, because he just made me think of like a child that won't do what it's told, and you just want to do what you do with dogs and, like, you know, just sit them down, put them in their crate for a timeout, you know. He really irritated me, and I was just like, yeah. And then they go back for him, and I'm like, no, just leave him and just leave. Just go, please.
I liked his, I like the fact that he kind of answers the kind of question of what is a toy, because like the overarching theme of like the others is generally like, you know, you are a toy, and I like the idea that he doesn't think of himself as a toy, but he is one, whether he likes it or not, so therefore he has gained sentience by the magic of children.
Yeah, that's true.
I actually found that I liked a lot of the new characters quite a lot. I mean, the original cast don't get a huge amount of play, apart from Woody. A lot of them are relegated to not doing very much. But I really liked Key and Peele as Ducky and Bunny. I thought they were funny.
Who? Key and Peele?
Keegan-Michael Key and Jordan Peele.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I did like their characters. Mainly just because they're intent on, like, I don't know, jumping on someone's face.
Yeah, as a recurring joke, I thought that was very funny. Especially, like, the final one where they really make you wait for it. As they follow the little old lady as she goes home and stuff like that, has a bath. You know it's coming, but they make you wait.
I did find there were jokes that made me laugh. Like the, yes, I Canada! that was probably the best joke in that movie. But I didn't feel like it had more than that for me. Like, Toy Story 1 was like part of our childhood, and I just feel like it had so much more than this. I feel like it's just got to the point where they're just kind of dragging it out. Yeah, just for the sake of dragging it out, really.
One of the things that does kind of bug me is the fact that the first 3 movies take place in like real time.
Yeah.
So Andy ages as he would have aged in between the movies, and then this one's just set like now. Even as like little thing, it's like 9 years ago, and you're like, oh, that's when the last one came out.
Yeah.
But then that takes you back to when Andy is a child, and you're kind of like, oh no, they've messed the timeline up.
Yeah, I'd say the timelines do not make any sense at all anymore. And like the fact that Bo is like, yeah, I've been lost for like 7 years or whatever, or 9. Yeah, I think she says, because she's been gone for 9 years, but she has not had a kid for 7 years, which then doesn't really make sense. When she's like, oh, you know, had a kid, then it grew up, and I got left behind. It's like, wait, your kid grew up in 2 years? What kid were you given to that grew up and left you behind in 2 years?
She also was left on a shelf for 3 years, she says at one point as well.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, this doesn't add up. Like, somebody didn't do the math. What happened? I don't get it.
I think my favourite of the new characters, though, is Keanu Reeves as Duke Kaboom.
Ah, it's Keanu Reeves! I didn't notice, to be honest. But yes, I also enjoyed Duke Kaboom.
The Canadian stuntman. I thought he was really funny. I really liked him. I was like, oh, this is a cool character. It reminded me of, in Toy Story 3, they meet Ken.
Yes.
From Barbie and Ken. He's played by Michael Keaton. So like Vulture from Spider-Man Homecoming. I think the animation is beautiful. I like the fact that like no matter like I'm in a constant state of not thinking that like computer animation can get any better, but then it does. It looks more realistic, and it kind of just blows my mind. Were there any moments that got you in the feels?
Not really. The only moment that I was a bit like, oh, was when there's that lost kid, and she's just crying. And obviously, like, because so I've got a lot of nephews and nieces, and they like have stayed over before, and sometimes they're like crying because they're like had a bad dream or something, and it's that crying sound that got me in the feels a little bit. But I think it was just literally because it was just the sound, like the idea of a child crying like that is really horrible.
That bit got me as well. I got the little pangs of the feels.
Yeah, but otherwise, no, not really. I feel like they tried really hard, but it was, I don't know, you kind of knew where it was going. It wasn't like but then again, the third one didn't get me either. It was, you know, there weren't really any surprises there.
Third one made me feel all the feels.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, so much.
I would like to go back and watch the first one again, but I think that would be it. I wouldn't watch the rest again.
There were several moments that got me in the feels because, I don't know, it just does. The first one was at the very beginning. They do that spinning shot of when Andy's playing with Woody, and it sort of does like a little time lapse, and then eventually he spins him, and it's right into the shot from Toy Story 3 where he's handing Woody to Bonnie, and that was the scene that really got me in Toy Story 3.
I was gonna say, that's the scene that made you blub the first time we saw that.
Yeah, and just as soon as it like goes into that shot, I was just like, oh no, I feel all those feelings again. Yeah, and the second one that got me, which did actually make me cry a single tear as well, when the child is lost. For me though, it was the moment when the child finds Gabby, and then she gains the courage and the bravery from having Gabby with her. Just the way that the toy, the inanimate object, has such an impact on the little girl. That got me.
Is this because you're a hoarder?
Yes, probably. That I associate feelings with toys. Probably.
And items and objects, inanimate objects. It's okay, babe. I'll get you a spork.
And some pipe cleaners.
No, just a spork.
We never had pipe cleaners when I was a child. No. I'd always watch like Smart and Art Attack. And they'd be like,
your pipe cleaners? I don't have any.
Exactly, like, oh, hey mum, do we have any like a variety of coloured pipe cleaners? And my mum would be like, no, we don't have any.
It's when they were like, oh, yeah, so these are things you should have around the house. And it's like, I have none of those things other than maybe glue, but it's probably industrial strength that I shouldn't be using.
Like, were they just designed for the children of, like, handymen and plumbers who would have copious amounts of, like, these excess materials?
I think it was made for, like, crafty families who would do arts and crafts. My family never did arts and crafts. It was like, look, here's a video game, here's a movie, here's a book, go and do something with that. Or like, I don't know, here's a like, what are those things, the sticks that you bounce on? A pogo stick. Here's a pogo stick, go in the garden for half an hour. You know, go and do something else. Play with your Lego. You know.
See, my parents quite liked sport, so we were quite a sport-watching family.
I avoided that.
As did I. I mainly played with action figures. That was oh my goodness, yes.
Oh, when the mini thing, little doll thing turns
Polly
up,
Pocket,
the Polly Pocket thing. I was just like, oh, I remember my Polly Pocket. I really want one again now.
I think that's all it takes. It's just that one thing to remind you of your own toy, and then you just go, oh no.
If anyone has a Polly Pocket, let me know in the comments. I'll buy it off of you. For like a $5. Not going any higher than that.
Then the final moment that kind of got me in the feels is when Woody and Buzz do their To Infinity and Beyond send-off.
Get you.
Just a couple of bros saying goodbye in their own little way. Using like one of the most iconic lines in the franchise.
I don't know, I wouldn't say that's, well, I suppose it is, but that's not the one that I always would go to. That's not my go-to line.
What's your go-to line?
The bit where he's like, we're flying! And he's not, no, we're falling with style! That bit. And
that is a great line,
like,
yeah.
Wings come out and he's like, wee! Yeah, that's the bit that I remember.
I find that there's that line, there's To Infinity and Beyond, and also for some reason, there's a snake in my boot!
There's a snake in my boot!
Yeah, I don't know why, but that's just one that I've always remembered. I'm like, yep, that's worth remembering.
Yeah. I felt like there was almost too much in this film. Because I'm trying to think about what actually happened, and there's too many storylines, which then they tried to interconnect but didn't really work, I don't think.
I would agree. I think that it's very much you could just have
The Gabby storyline.
Yeah, you could
That's
have
what you
Woody
need.
and Bo and Gabby and
That's why I say that I think Forky was just a plot device, because literally the only reason he's there is to get them to go into the antique store.
he is the he's like the object that they need to collect.
Yeah, but I feel like they could have done it a different way without it being really messy, which I felt like it was quite messy.
Yeah, it's like Buzz goes off and does his own thing for about 5-10 minutes and then just immediately gets like sucked into the Woody storyline. I will admit though, I did have a lot of fun with when he's pressing, he's trying to listen to his inner voice
Yeah.
and he's just pressing his little voice buttons
button,
and
yeah.
by like a cosmic coincidence they're telling
So
him
it's
like it tells him like exactly what to do at that right moment.
Yeah, I did like that bit as well. I quite appreciated that. That was quite funny. I'd say there were like moments which I thought were funny, but overall it's not really very memorable. As same with the third one, I don't really remember it. Or the second one. Actually, no, I do remember the second one a bit more, because that's the one about Jesse being in the box.
Yes.
It's about what if toys were with collectors, which is kind of creepy if you think about it. Take your toy out of the box.
Leave him on the floor.
Yeah, leave them on the floor. So yeah, I feel like 3 and 4 haven't really been very memorable. They kind of, I don't know, just got sucked into the abyss of movies. They're not as standout as they used to be.
I'll admit that like compared to like last year's offerings, which I always talk about, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse and Teen Titans Go to the Movies,
Yeah.
I find those both, and like Isle of Dogs,
Oh, that was so good.
and like those are movies which are like distinctive and memorable,
Yeah.
and I love them so
I
much.
just feel that being a sequel, like the fourth, I think we just need to put Toy Story down now. Put it to bed. Put the toys away.
Put them in the box.
Put them in the box. Close the box. Leave the box closed. Put tape on it so that it's closed.
I find that like it's been 9 years since Toy Story 3 came out.
That surprised me when you told me that.
And yeah, because that's bloody ages.
Yeah.
And I also feel like the series has lost a lot of momentum. Like I find it hard to be like enthusiastic about a sequel, 9 years later.
Yeah. Unless, obviously Jigsaw was quite a few years, and there have been other sequels which have been like more than 9 years. I feel that 9 years is a bit of random, whereas if you have 15 years or something like that, something ridiculous, like the Tron thing.
Oh yeah,
Like the reboot or whatever it was. Yeah, Tron. You get all the people who watched it when they were younger being like, oh wow, that's really nostalgic. But I feel like with this, it's kind of like, well, we had one of these 9 years ago. That wasn't really that long ago. That was when we kind of started getting together. So, we can kind of remember that as adults. Say adults very loosely, adults, we're teenagers. Pretending to be adults.
Legally, we were adults.
So yeah, I feel like it wasn't long enough, and it was not short enough. It was too in-betweeny.
I actually found I had a similar problem when I saw How to Train Your Dragon 3 at the start of this year, where the 5-year gap between 2 and 3 just completely drained my enthusiasm for another dragon movie.
It's like when we watch TV programs and I get disinterested after a week.
Oh, because you can't do the Netflix binge system.
Yeah, I can't. I have to be able to just watch it in succession or watch it when I want to watch it. Because if I have to wait 1-2 weeks or whatever and then wait another year for the next season, I lose interest and I'm just like, oh, I can't be bothered anymore. I don't remember. It's.
I agree. I think that the best way to watch a TV program is one episode a night.
Yeah, Yeah, I agree.
Or like maybe in like 2 episodes if it's something
If
that
it's
you'll
a
really get
short-
into.
Or if it's a short, you know, 20-minute episode.
Because I found that like I was so into the Punisher season 2, and equally with the Punisher season 1, that when it came to like I was watching like 1 episode a night, and then when it came to like the finale, I watched the final 2 episodes together.
Yeah, I remember.
Like a 2-hour movie.
They tend to be 2 hours, that.
That they do.
What got you in the feels, people? Put it in the comments. What, did you cry? Probably is the answer, I'm guessing. A lot of people cry at this movie. I don't really know why. I think I just have no heart. Yeah. What got you in the feels?
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, because it got me in the feels. Clearly, toys and dog movies.
Oh God, no dog movies. That's banned forever.
I can't help watching them. I know I shouldn't because it gets me, but I love them.
No.
I want to watch the movie with the doggy in
No, I
it.
don't. I do not want to watch that movie. I'm just going to go home and enjoy my doggies.
Or that. One thing which I did actually, I've just remembered is when I was watching it, I was like, I feel like the scale has been massively dropped down compared to like Toy Story 3, where they go off to like the trash compactor, they go off to daycare, they go to Andy's house, they go to Bonnie's house, you know. Whereas in this one it's just, hey, we go from Bonnie's house to the carnival and antique shop, and then that's where we stay for the rest of the movie. We don't really go anywhere.
Yeah, like I say, I don't know. I don't think that the story was as good as it should have been. Yeah.
Because even in like Toy Story 1, they go to Planet Pizza.
Yeah.
And then they go to Spike's house. In number 2, they're at the Buzz goes to the toy shop, and they go to like that weird collector dude, and then they have this big finale in the airport.
In the toy shop, Buzz finds loads of buzzes.
Yes.
He's like really freaked out. Yeah, I remember.
And he meets his like he meets like the arch nemesis, Emperor Zurg.
Yeah.
I've made myself want to watch Toy Story 2 now. I really like Toy Story 2.
Okay, yeah, maybe 1 and 2. I still feel like then they were original. So it was different.
I remember enjoying Toy Story 3, but I have no desire to see it.
I didn't really. Yeah, I think I was very similar. I was like, yeah, it was fine. It's not very rewatchable. Yeah.
Rank them.
What, in order of best to worst?
Well, favourite to least favourite.
1, 2, 3, 4. Obviously.
Just a downward slope for you.
Yeah,
That's how
they
it
just
goes.
kind of slowly got worse, and now I'm just like, eh. And everyone's really excited for it, and lots of people that I know have seen it. Obviously, we're quite late seeing it, and they've been like, "Oh my god, it's amazing! It's really good. You should go see it." And I'm like, "Cool, yeah, okay, I'll go see it." And I've seen it, and I'm like, it wasn't worth the hype at all. I mean, it also probably didn't help that I had a child kicking the back of my seat for like most of the film. But yeah, I just don't. It was fine. Which is the worst way for a movie to be, because at least if you dislike a movie, it makes you feel something. You know, you have an emotion attached to it. Whereas this, I don't really care.
See, I liked it. I enjoyed it. I'm glad I saw it. If I had to rank them, I'd probably say 2, 1, 3, 4.
I have a lot of attachment to 1 because of it was one of the first movies I remember seeing with one of my brothers, my youngest brother, who is, for the record, still older than me, but yeah, the youngest out of the 3. And we watched it, and then it was something we connected over. So I think that's why 1 is top for me, and the others kind of.
I think also I never owned a copy of Toy Story 1, but I did own a VHS of Toy Story 2.
That's probably why.
Interestingly, one thing which I did also own was I owned a VHS of the Pixar short films, the things that they made before they made Toy Story. And one of the little short films is it's like the little Tin Man, who actually appears in this movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you know, in like the weird little nightclub where they find Duke Kaboom.
Oh, yeah.
He opens the
opens
door.
the door.
He's got the little cymbals and he walks in drum.
He doesn't talk. He just makes like squeaking noises or something.
Yeah. So yeah, I thought that was pretty. That was a cool little reference. I was also looking for the Pizza Planet Pizza truck, and I couldn't see it. And there's another hedgehog.
Oh,
God, we have so many hedgehogs in this area.
oh, it's a little one.
There's a little one, yeah.
Oh, it's a baby.
Anyway,
Oh,
like,
baby hedgehog.
comment, share, subscribe.
Rank your favorite to least favorite Toy Story 1 through 4 in the comments.
And hit the little bell to stay notified.